All right. Well, it's 11 by my clock here, so we'll go ahead and get started. Um, Garrett is on today with me. He's one of our staff members here at ComTech, and he's going to be kind of moderating and watching the chat and so forth and helping me out today. So thank you, Garrett, for making time for us today. And
No worries at all.
yeah, and I'm Rafe Martin. I'm the CRO here at ComTech. So glad you guys are with us. I want to start out with just a quick survey, if you will, and you can just respond in the chat window if you don't mind. If this is the first of this webinar series that you've attended, can you just type the word first in chat? Which, by the way, this is a three-part webinar series, and we're on the third one today. So this is ChatGPT and Leonardo today for image creation. So if this is your first one, type in first. If you've been to the other two, you can type in the word expert, just so we know. I'm trying to get just a feel for the makeup here. So, all right. So I'm going to start with just a quick review of where we've been with the other two webinars. And I won't dive in deep on any of this unless you have a question. So by the way, if you have questions, just put your questions in the chat. Garrett may interrupt me with those, and I'll try to pause along the way for questions. But go ahead and type those in as they come up, and we'll try to get all those answered. So, all right, just a recap of where we've come so far with this. First things we want to cover, and I'll go ahead and share my screen.
I'm going to go ahead and stop my video, Rafe. That way we can go into it.
Okay, sure. Okay, so we've got some people that a lot of experts here. That's good. Good. I'm seeing some of those now. All right. So just to review, I've got ChatGPT up. Garrett, hopefully that window is the one that's being shared.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay. So the takeaway, I think the big takeaway from the first one was context and prompting. So context is king. If you remember that, the more background you can give ChatGPT, the better results you're going to get. And we talked about saving these chats over here on the left side. Those are all saved chats. And the reason you want to save them is that you preserve that context within that chat. So then when you come back to revisit that chat later, you don't have to re-educate ChatGPT about what the conversation was last time you were in there. So we recommend that you save those per topic, if you will, so it's not so confusing. I will tell you sometimes it does get confusing when you save so many. You're trying to find the topic that you were in a week ago. So be sure you name it well. Or if you happen to change topics within a saved chat and you're like, oh gosh, well, I know I talked about that, now I can't find it. So anyway, context is king, and then prompting. And you've heard the term prompt engineering. It's a skill that you will develop as you use this, and it's an emerging job skill that I think you'll see on resumes and in job descriptions as we move along with AI in general. Prompt engineering is going to be in demand. So moving on from there, we talked about how to train ChatGPT to use your voice and your writing style. Curious in the chat if you're doing that now. Maybe let us know. Hey, yes, I've trained ChatGPT to use my writing style. Just curious if people are using that and that's working. One way we talked about doing that is you just provide ChatGPT some writing samples, and you can again, you just do that, open a new chat, say, hey, I'm going to give you some writing samples so you can analyze my style. I pasted 10 or so email replies into there, and then I asked it for a summary of my writing style. It gave me a nice paragraph of how it interpreted my style. And then we went into custom instructions, which is on that left navigation. If you go down, click on your name, select custom instructions from that you've got two boxes here. That first one is just if you guys were on the first two, you remember we made a LinkedIn bio and we pasted that in here. It's just background on you, and maybe you add some interests and hobbies and whatever you want to provide to it. It's using that in your responses, any new chats you start after this. And then this second box here was a summary of your writing style. And we left room for other instructions in here, like, address me as Rafe. Um, if you're using it for research, you may add an instruction like always cite sources, for example. So anyway, that's the custom instructions within ChatGPT that we looked at. And then moving into version 4 of ChatGPT, it's interesting, since the first webinar we did of this series, ChatGPT has changed with every scheduled webinar. There's more changes since the last one, and it continues to just keep evolving at a rapid rate here. So we're now at a point with ChatGPT 4. You used to have to select these at options. Now they're built into every chat. So GPT-4 has Dolly. It's already there for you. It does have the ability to go out and browse the web. And it does support file uploads now. So you don't even have to turn those on. They're built in. If you guys remember, I think from the last one, as a test of the web browsing, we showed that feature, and I asked it to just browse the web. I didn't have to give it a specific search engine. I just said, browse the web, give me like a summary of this situation in Israel. Pretend I'm a fifth grader. I need it explained at that level. And it went out and browsed the web, collected all the news, made a nice timeline of and then summary of that for me. So we also looked at making images right inside the chat GPT window now, not having to go to the Dolly website. So we did, I'll just do a quick one. Create photos of a dog. I mean, that's pretty simple. Not having to leave ChatGPT to do that was something else we looked at. On the image creation side, we had looked at Dolly as the standalone app, and then of course now it's right here inside. And we looked at Midjourney as another image app. Midjourney, there's your dogs right inside there. Midjourney was a little maybe clunky for some people because it had to work inside of Discord, which was kind of another piece to it. So today we're going to be looking at Leonardo, and I'm really excited because this thing is, Leonardo to me is far superior to these other two, and especially with the help it gives you in the interface on screen. So we'll dive into that on the second half of today. So what's new in ChatGPT since the last time? I wanted to spend some time showing you guys. They're called GPTs. And if you click on the Explore item here on the left, you'll see, I'm going to scroll down. Here are some that they have already provided for you. And these are, so the best way to think of them is they're purpose-built ChatGPT modules. So you can see they've got some, there's Dolly, but here's data analysis, drop in a file, it'll analyze it for you. You want to go back to ChatGPT Classic, you can do that. You can get help playing board games or card games. This the negotiator helps you advocate for yourself, become a great negotiator. There's a creative writing coach, digital painting app here, tech support advisor. I mean, it just goes on and on. You can come through and try some of these yourself. The, I think, exciting thing, I mean, that's great in itself, but what they're going to do with this is you can now make your own custom GPT, which we're going to do one here in just a moment. And soon they will open up a GPT store. And if you come up with a really great idea for one of these things, you can actually put it out there on the store, and they're going to do a revenue sharing program with the creators of these. So you can actually monetize your GPT. And the way you would probably go about that is if you've got some specialized knowledge or data that you can use to kind of back up a GPT where it becomes purpose driven for a specific need. You build this thing and then put it out there and maybe make a few dollars, who knows? But in any case, you can create this for your own use to help just be more efficient using AI. So I hope that makes sense. Let's dive into one. I did one as a test this morning, and I'm going to go ahead and warn everybody. ChatGPT's been a little goofy this morning as I've tested some of these things. So hopefully we don't get in an embarrassing situation where it bombs out. But let's dive in to make a new GPT here. So again, I'm over here on Explorer. There's Create a GPT up at the top. And you're presented with these two windows. So the one on the left is where you're creating and configuring the GPT, and then you kind of have a preview over here on the right. So I already have a prompt here. Let me copy and paste this real quick. And this is neat because you don't really need to know any kind of coding or anything. You're just talking to it like you would normally talk to ChatGPT. And I'm going to switch to my headphone for this. All right. Garrett, can you hear me okay now?
Yes, I can hear you, Ray.
Good. Okay. All right. So I pasted this prompt in. I want to make a grocery spending analyzer. And I chose this because it also will hopefully illustrate how ChatGPT can accept an image upload as input and actually analyze the image. So want to make a grocery spending analyze. I'll upload a grocery receipt, which is going to be a picture. Analyze what I'm spending money on and provide a breakdown by category. Return the results in an Excel spreadsheet. I'm just going to give it that. And now it's thinking, and it's going to ask me a series of questions to help build this thing out here. And this is what's been going on all morning. Something went wrong. Something seems to have gone wrong. Let me give it another try. Here we go. And I do have one saved. If this continues to bomb out, I'll just go to the saved one. But I wanted to show you how it steps you through the creation of your custom GPT here. All right, great. We're making progress. Let's decide on a name for your GPT. How about Savvy Shopper? Does it sound good to you? I'll say yes, perfect. And now it's going to generate like an icon or image for the app. And again, it's a little slow today. I can't even tell what that is. Looks like waves. And it should ask me if I like that image. There it goes. Okay. Here's a profile picture that's been generated. What do you think? Would you like to make any change to that? I'll just go, for sake of time, I'll just say looks good. All right, so it's great. Now let's discuss the finer details of your Savvy Shopper GPT. what types of grocery items should be prioritized in analysis, and are there any specific details you'd like to highlight? I'm just going to say nothing specific. Just break down all categories. Now, if you'll notice on the right side over here, it's providing kind of pre-built prompts for the user of this when they come back in later. All right, let's focus on how you communicate. What style and language should I use? I'll just say casual and friendly. And there we go. Something went wrong again. And it's building. All right, we're almost ready to start. Would you like to take it for a spin in the playground, or what would you like? I'll just say finish building. All right, so this is great. It's now ready for eating, ready to use. I'll just say we're done. Thanks. And so we've been under this create tab, which is we're just talking, chatting in plain English. But if you look at the configure tab, that's where some of the more advanced settings could be, and it filled it out for us. But you'll see, if I want to come in and change the name, I can rename it here, and description and instructions. These are those conversation starters, they're called, so you can add those or change those. And then it did turn these on, but it is important that if you're going to do any kind of file upload or file output, that you make sure code interpreter is turned on. It turned on image and web browsing already. So those are the settings. And now I can save this. I'll go up here in the top right, and I'm just going to save it for only me right now, and click confirm. All right, so now if you see, it is in my menu over here on the top left whenever I log into ChatGPT. So I can click on Savvy Shopper, and I found some grocery receipts online. So I saved one. I'm just going to upload this grocery receipt, and let's see what happens. Walmart receipt. All right, it says, I see you've sent an image that appears to be a grocery receipt from Walmart. Let's get started on categorizing these items for you. I'll go through the receipt, identify each, categorize them, then I can total the spend per category. So this is an easy example I just chose because, they're short, they're easy to understand. But take the idea from this, the ability to upload a file and have ChatGPT do something to it, and then process it with whatever instructions you give it, and then output a different result, or maybe a revised or refined result. So you can use this with Excel spreadsheets. You can upload text documents. It really likes those. As you can see, we uploaded an image. I've got an error. What's happening? I'm just going to say proceed. Yeah, it's acting up today. So see if we can get it to work. Okay, here it goes. I thought it was interesting. It's identifying the items on the receipt, even though they're not spelled out that great. But this whole idea is just to get you thinking, how can I make a custom GPT to save me time or make uh, better results from things that I'm giving it? All right, still analyzing. While this is having its hiccups, Garrett, are there any questions that we could maybe answer that I don't have to uh, do on screen at the moment? Uh,
Not
I do.
regarding the Chat GPT. We did have one question about the Starbucks gift card. Are we still doing that?
No, that was from the last webinar. That was just a special thing we did for um, pumpkin spice season. All right, so it's gone through. It's picked out these items off the receipt and categorized them. It looks like it didn't get all the way through, so it did give me Python code if I wanted to create a chart, but it'll also do it. It says they're having a technical issue. Well, that's perfect. Great timing. Let me go over here to this saved one and see if I can. No, of course not. It's not there. Um, this is the exact same GPT. I just gave it a different name. I'll give it the Walmart receipt again. We'll see if we get better results this time. All right, great time to toss some questions out. If you guys have any chat GPT questions, we've got about 3 or 4 minutes before we move into Leonardo with image generation. I'd be interested to hear what ideas you may have for a custom GPT, if anyone wants to throw those out. All right, so it looks like you've shared a grocery receipt. I'm just saying proceed. This worked beautifully this morning, by the way. It gave me a nice Excel spreadsheet with all the costs broke down and actually made a pie chart for me. So let me see if I can actually retrieve that. Yeah. So anyway, they're bombing out today. I apologize, guys. It's um, obviously not in our hand. Here's the spreadsheet I saved from the earlier run of this, and you see it did categories. It listed the item and then the cost. And of course, you can take this data. It could be sales data, product data, inventory. I mean, you name it. Export it as Excel. Do what you want to with it from there. It does also recognize a lot of things in images that you wouldn't expect. I've heard people say online that they, taken a picture of uh, the refrigerator contents, for example, and it was able to say, oh, this is cheese, that's milk, this is whatever. Here's some recipes you can make from what I've identified in your refrigerator. So, all right. Well, again, sorry that's not behaving for us today, but hey, that's the world of IT and technology sometimes. Um, I would just, before we move off of ChatGPT, just encourage you to go in here on the Explore menu, try some of these, get some ideas, make your own up here, and just, have fun and be productive with that. Before we move on, any questions on ChatGPT before we dive into Leonardo? Nope. Garrett, you didn't see any more?
I didn't see any more, but I just wanted to confirm this is the paid version of Chat GPT, correct?
Oh, yeah, great question. This is the paid version, which gets me to GPT-4 and all these goodies. Is anyone using the free version? Garrett, I don't know if you have a free version. You may want to pop over there and see if you get that explore menu. Um, and just again, these are going to continue to come out. They're going to have a store for these. You'll be able to share um, your GPTs that you create. All right, we're going to move on to Leonardo. Sounds like we're all squared away on ChatGPT. So AI image generation with Leonardo. Leonardo.ai is the website. You'll see this home screen. You'll need to register if you are a new user. Garrett registered this morning because we just wanted to confirm they still are offering a free version of this. So Garrett, just you were able to get in there and get a small amount of credits for image generation. Is that correct?
Yes. I
Yeah.
got
Okay.
150 credits.
150. So we'll look at what 150 credits looks like. Excuse me, as we dive in here. So this is the homepage. You'll click launch app. I've already got an account made. I'm on the paid version, by the way. So I get 20, I'm on this $30 a month version. I get 25,000 credits. And we'll do some images here. You'll see. So this is the main screen you land on for image generation. Let me go back one. Once you log in, you land on this page. So you'll see your navigation on the left, home, the community feed, which is a lot of these images that other users have made. And then there's a lot here, but I'm usually either here or the image the image generation menu. So that's where all the magic happens. But let me just show you the homepage. You'll see they've got these different models here, and they're models in terms of image generation models, it's the code behind the image generation. So they've got this diffusion XL, which is I think based on stable diffusion, which was an earlier release of this. But you'll see, here's one. If I want to make images that have that look to them, I tend to use the photo real one for most everything because I use it a lot for social media posts, and I'll come in and generate an image that looks like it could be a real photo or a real object. That's just my preference. Again, you can do what you want to here. They got this 3D animation style, which looks like what is it called? Pixar. I mean, kind of looks like a Disney movie. Those style images, and then this one is Dream Shaper is kind of along the lines of photo real, but it is has its subtle differences, and you'll figure it out by experimenting with these. But those are the models that become the basis. So why this is important or good, if you guys remember the Mid-Journey demo we did, I would have to give it a lot of description to get to something that looked like this, for example, or a photo reel, or even this 3D style. I would have to provide that in my prompt in Midjourney. With Leonardo, you don't have to. You just say, "Hey, I'm going to work in that model," and so a lot of those commands are kind of baked in, if you will. So you don't even need to know those commands. Scrolling down on the homepage, so these are some recent images generated with Leonardo. That's kind of neat. They're all I think they're all heads above Dolly and Midjourney in a lot of cases. So, you can find one of these if you want to use that prompt. You can click on it and click on copy prompt. I'll copy it just for grins here. This is neat too. Let's pick one. If you guys have image ideas you want to make, throw them out in the chat. We'll see if we can get to them to make some images. I spoke at high school recently, and we had some far out ideas. So I'm going to move. So this is the home page again. It's just to see other people's work. You can copy their prompt. There is, this whole sharing thing. So instead of spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to get to a look you want, maybe try to find a starting point on this page and copy that prompt. All right, so I'm going to click on AI image generation now, which moves me into this menu. And we'll make a few images. I'll show you some history here. This is some stuff we did at this high school recently. They wanted to see Donald Trump inside of the Fortnite map. So there he is. Arnold Schwarzenegger came to dinner. So here he is eating this Thanksgiving dinner. This is a minion riding a horse through the desert. And then this is a T-Rex in a swimming pool eating potatoes. A cat on a dirt bike, and you get the idea. But they're all using that photorealistic image model. So if you see, once I'm in here for image generation, I can type a prompt up here. So that's what we'll put a prompt. I'm just going to paste the one I copied from the home page. And then you'll see below this is the model that's selected. I told it I want a cinematic view. There's other choices there. And then they have these elements you can also add in. And so if I start adding things, the number of credits required goes up. So we've got Inferno selected as an element. And this really just adds fire and smoke type of elements to your images. So I'll confirm that. You'll
Rafe, we
see.
did have a prompt idea that I'm copying in the chat now if you wanted to look at it.
Sure. So you see, it cost me 20 tokens to generate based on the settings I have. And if you'll see over here, I've got it set to generate 4 images. I could change that to 2. And you see my token cost went down to 16. I could change it to 1, and it's still 16. So there's really not a lot of difference between 2 and 4 in terms of token count. Garrett, you said with the free account you have 150, and I think
yes, that's correct.
And that's for the month. Is that right?
It said it would regenerate, I think, in 10 hours. So I think it redoes it every day.
Okay. All right. So yeah, with my paid, and I'm at 25,000. So I'm going to copy the prompt that you pasted in here from the chat. So here we are. Outside view of a restaurant or cafe with a small patio seating area with farmhouse styling and a sidewalk space in front. This will be good if it gets all of that in there. So I'm going to go ahead and generate it. And it'll take a little longer because it is making 4 of those. While those are generating, I'll show you some more of these settings on the left. I really like this interface because it just gives you a lot to play around with here. So I have photo reel turned on. If you guys know much about photography, you can adjust the depth of field. You can actually turn it into camera raw mode. Change your dimensions. You actually have control here of aspect ratio if you don't want to use one of the pre-selected ones here. You can change it here. I like to use 1-to-1 for social media posts because a lot of people are looking at these on their phones, and sometimes this horizontal view would shrink the image because of the width. So if you use a square one or even a vertical oriented image, that's going to show up better on a phone. So to me, square is just kind of safe for phone and computer. I'll go ahead and change it so it'll do it for the next image we make. And then you can manually adjust the width of your images here, the pixels. So that's going to be a square 624. So here are the 4 images we got back. So which which one do we like here? This is pretty, actually, they're all good. I'm just going to click on number 4. So it'll upscale it or show me a larger version. And if you see I've got the magnifying glass, I can actually click on it. Oh, that is the full version. I'm sorry. And then you've got a menu down here. Different things you can do. They all cost, some of them cost you tokens, like the unzoom, it costs you 5 more tokens. Um, remove the background, it'll cost you 2 tokens. There's upscaling. So it can smooth it and upscale it to a larger image, which costs some tokens, it looks like, and then a crisp upscale. But for the most part, this will work for my use. So I just right click on the image and do save image as, and just save it. All right. So far, so good. Well, let's throw out another prompt idea, and then I want to show you how it actually can help you with your prompts, because I'll just use the prompt we have up here. If you see prompt generation right here, because that's one of the challenges, is to getting the ideas for the prompt. You can copy them off the homepage like we saw, but let's just say, I can't find anything that inspires me. I really just need help with a prompt. This tool will give you prompt ideas based on what you put in here. So I'll paste in this one that we just used, and I'll tell it to ideate. And I've selected 4. So it came up with 4 prompts, right? They get, a little more descriptive and so forth. And then from here, I can just generate them right here. Let's see if we get much different results with that prompt difference. It's especially good if you just have no clue what you want to what you want to ask of it. Let's say I'm doing I always use social media posts because that's what I do the most of. Gosh, I've got a post about passwords. Give me some ideas, and it'll generate prompts. So a little different. Actually, I like these. So there's that. I can go back over to prompt generation, and so we did number 1. I can come in here and generate the second one if I want, which it does cost you a few tokens to generate the prompt as well. While that's working, let's just look at these. That's nice. And you see how it used that depth of field, so it's blurred in the foreground and background. It looks like my focus is somewhere right in here. Neat stuff. All right, here's that other prompt. They seem to be getting better. Any other image ideas, Garrett, while we're in there?
I haven't seen the other ones come through.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back into this prompt generator and show you what I was talking about. So let's just say I'm doing a cybersecurity social media post. I'm talking about a password vault, and I'm just drawing a blank, and I just type the word password vault in and click the button to generate some prompt ideas. And here's what it made. Number 1, a futuristic password vault with sleek metallic walls and glowing neon lights guarded by a robotic sentry. Well, I can't wait to see that. So let's click that. Anyone have project they're working on where they're going to need an image. Maybe you want to share that. We can take some stabs at it. Oh, look, this is cool. I like this one. And it's photorealistic. It just blows my mind that this is completely fabricated. And that's a good point to clarify. Because I've had people say to me, "Oh, well, you plug the prompt in and it just goes out online and finds images of those things and throws them together." It's actually not doing that. So AI has to learn. So it looked at a lot of images and it's actually creating this stuff on the fly. So I think I talked about this some in the second webinar, but it's just, let's say that you're a painter, like you've learned to paint, and your teacher was Da Vinci or whoever. You're gonna your work's probably gonna show that that was an influence in your training. So that's the argument from a lot of the artists is, um, or the debate is AI is not really ripping off your picture of the Mona Lisa, but it used it to learn from. Um, Therefore, there's a debate on whether some credit should be due to that original artist or not. Um, Something like this image, I mean, it's probably impossible to figure out. I mean, I'm sure it's using a collection of influences to generate this image. And by the way, the currently I can use this image anywhere I want to. If I want to put it on a T-shirt, I'm fine. I don't have to pay a royalty or any kind of licensing for this. At the current state of things, that's where we are. Okay, we've got about 3 minutes left. You guys want to do one more before we wrap it up?
We did have a question come in about the ChatGPT Sam Altman drama. Do you know or have any insights on that, if it might affect ChatGPT, or if there's anything we can expect from that?
I can certainly share what I know about it with you. I think what's going on here? Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to copy this prompt out here while I'm talking about that. This one has a lush jungle, so I'm curious about what it's going to look like. So Sam Altman and some others, I think, were fired by OpenAI, but then they were all reinstated. I think it was a day or two later, they're back. And I think what's happened is they've pretty much fired their whole board of directors, except for one person that was the original. And you can fact check me on this because I'm not completely sure on it. But it all came out of a debate over the direction of ChatGPT, and I think philosophical differences on AI just in general. When they were founded, the idea was, hey, this is for the betterment of humanity, right? We're doing this. It was, I think, the idea of open source originally, but that they kind of moved from that too. But it is all about the betterment of humanity, and I think that was the attitude of most of the board members. And then you have Sam Altman, who was all about commercializing ChatGPT and moving forward quickly. As you guys can see, the advances just in the last 2 months have been tremendous. So there was just kind of a difference of maybe values and ideas about the direction. So I think an argument erupted. He was fired. You've got people out there, they call them the doomers, who are, they're of the mindset that AI is moving too quickly. Humanity's not ready for all of this. This is going to be the destruction of our of humans and possibly the planet or whatever. They're just scared of AI or very cautious about advancing too quickly. So, but I heard some of the board members referred to as doomers. And then you have the other people who are like Sam Altman, ready to go as fast as you can, and be the leader in AI, because whoever emerges as a leader is going to be, it's like the next Microsoft or the next Google. But anyway, that's what I know about it. And he's right back in there. he was employed at Microsoft for a day, I think. So anyway, there's another password vault in the jungle. Those are neat, photorealistic. It's the background's blurred. It looks like it's actually shot with a camera with a nice aperture that could provide that blurred background. Neat stuff. Well, hey, we're a minute over. Hopefully this was helpful, guys. It's sorry that ChatGPT bombed on us, but hey, that's the world we live in. I know they spend $700,000 a day to keep that site running. Anyway, Leonardo is great. If that's my recommendation, if you're going to invest in any kind of monthly subscription for AI image generation, if you need that, I would go with Leonardo. This week, we'll say, changes a lot. So before we wrap up, Garrett, any final questions we might want to tackle?
I haven't seen more come through. I think you just did such a great job explaining everything.
Well, hey, I will pop this up as a closing page. ComTech, we're an MSP. We do IT support, cybersecurity, and business phone systems. So if we can ever help you with that, glad to chat with you. Again, I'm Rafe Martin. You can reach out through this book of discovery call, or if you scroll down on our homepage, that's my personal calendar there. So even if you just have a ChatGPT or image question, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer. Or if you want to book a time, there's my calendar. All right, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Garrett, thank you so much for helping out today. And stay tuned. I'm sure we'll do another one after the first of the year. All right. Thanks, guys.